So I was watching this one video, I think it was from NBC Nightly News, and they're interviewing people that were on spring break in Florida who didn't really care that much about the whole social distancing advisory, and they were just kind of there for spring break, just having a good time. And I think a lot of people kind of they just shit on them because they think that they're contributing to a lot of this. But I think maybe they look really stupid and it just kind of seems like they're really ignorant. But I think some people honestly might have a point. Like if you're okay, you probably shouldn't be on the beach in huge numbers like that, but I think that you can make a point if you're not really exposing yourself to older people. You're well, okay, you're not really exposing yourself to people who could actually be seriously who are likely to be seriously harmed from the virus, and you spend your time around people that know how bad it could get. They're not really doing anything wrong. And I think that's a pretty good argument. I don't know if it's completely solid, but I think it's better than what people are making it out to be. Like they're making them out to be completely ignorant people, but I think they're just trying to carry on as business as usual, which isn't necessarily the worst thing. But then I also saw on the same nightly newscast, they're basically showing people that were younger who were basically had serious cases of the virus, and they were like in the hospital in the emergency room or something like that, and they were actually doing really poorly, which is not what you would expect from young people. Like a lot of people say, if you're younger, you don't have any underlying medical conditions, you might not even notice that you have the virus. So it might be surprising to people to know that younger people, no underlying medical conditions, could still get seriously ill from the virus. And I think it's good to know, but I think the media is hyping it up just for clickbait and ad revenue. Because I mean, really, you make the title of your article. This young person never thought they could get in serious trouble from the coronavirus, and his response or whatever. And it's a video of him, and he's really ill. He has like a ventilator, and he's telling people take it seriously, whatever. So I think it's important to know that, but it's important to also know that that's such a small percentage of cases. I mean, what's the percentage of people that are in that age bracket that are equally as healthy that just naturally get another illness like the flu, and then it turns out really poorly for them? Maybe slightly higher with coronavirus, I'm not really sure, but around that same range. So I think it's just a fear tactic. It's something you should keep in mind though, just in the context of there's a small chance that it could happen if you're in that age group. But I don't really think unless you're if you're just a normal if you're a younger healthy individual who doesn't have any underlying medical conditions, this isn't really that bad of a time for you, honestly. I mean, try and find some ways to find the benefit out of this. You know, you could sit around and just watch TV, not learn anything, or you can try and improve yourself. I mean, if this, like, honestly, if you're someone that just doesn't work out and you never do anything, you just eat like shit all the time, how can this not, like, this is just such an awesome opportunity to actually improve yourself that I don't get how you could possibly not take that up. Like you're just sitting in your apartment all day, you can still go on walks, you can still go for a run, you can still jump rope or something like that. I mean, if you're really that bored, you might as well just exercise. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure. I think it'll be interesting to see how some people cope with it. Personally, I'm doing fine. It's not a big deal. I could do this for at least a couple months. But I mean, hopefully, it doesn't have to come to that. But worst case scenario, even if it was 3 months, that's doable. But I mean, 2 weeks, that's nothing. I think that's just a good break from, just a good way to break it up from normal routine and how you normally do things. But yeah, so this week, nothing really crazy because I think everything kind of kicked off Monday. But I think the week following the next week, once we start to get the actual numbers to see if the the curve or whatever you want to call it is actually flattening out a little bit. I think it is actually in Italy, which is good. But they actually reported they had more deaths than China, or they've gotten to that point. And China actually didn't report any new cases for a day. So I think they've pretty much got it locked down. So does South Korea. But hopefully, if we get the whole testing scenario under control, we can get, eventually we can be something like South Korea in relation to the virus. But yeah, that's all I got. I'll make another video tomorrow.